What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at a new scooter. This is the VMAX VX2 Pro. This company VMAX, they're pretty new in the US, but they've been operating in Switzerland for about 10 years now. This is a Swiss designed scooter, and everything was designed and made in-house at their own factory, which is something you don't see very often. A lot of scooters these days are made from China in a factory, and this factory provides the same scooters to several different companies, and they just slap a different logo on it. So that's why if you shop around for scooters, more than often you see 2 to 3 scooters that look exactly the same, but it's maybe just a little bit different color or different brand, but inside they're all the same scooter. But like I said, with companies like this one, it's a completely unique product that you're not going to find somewhere else. So the model I have here is the GT model. This one comes in an LS and ST model as well. They're all the same except for the battery size. This is the largest battery at 16 amp hours. So taking a look at the motor, this is a 48 volt 500 watt motor with a peak of 1300 watts, which is definitely much higher than a lot of other 500 watt motors out there. As I said earlier, everything is all made in-house. So you can see the motor right here has their own specifications, has their brand VMAX Tech. So this is like made and tuned for the scooter, which is not something you see very often. And one great thing about them making all their own stuff is they're going to be able to provide you with much better support as well. So if you deal with a company that has everything made overseas, if you have a problem with it, you're kind of just talking to the middleman and you don't get as much support. If you need a part, they might have to send it from China, and it's going to take a few weeks or maybe months to get to you. But this is all in-house, so if you have any issues, they'll be able to tell you and help you out very easily. So taking a look at the brakes, up front you have a drum brake, very easy to adjust. You just tighten or loosen this bolt here. And then in back you have an electric regen brake as well. What I do like is this one actually gives you the ability to control each one separately. A lot of scooters just slap them together on one handle, so you don't get much flexibility. But this one you can use either just the regen brake for more efficiency, or you can use both to get a much quicker stopping power. Taking a look at the tires, these are 10-inch pneumatic tires, which are tubeless as well. And they have a max of 35 psi. Looks like a nice beefy tire. We'll see how it performs in a little bit. Taking a look at the lights, you have a front headlight, which looks to be pretty bright. And then you also have a rear tail light, which is very bright as well. It's not that bright when it's on riding mode, but as soon as you hit the brake, it definitely has a lot of brightness. Another cool feature about this scooter is its built-in turn signals, which are much different from any other scooter I've seen. So as you can see, you have turn signals right up here on the bars, which is way more useful than having turn signals down there, because if you're turning and you're on the road somewhere, no one's going to be able to see them down there, but this is going to be a lot more visible. And then right back here, you also have these turn signals as well, which are also very bright. As you can see on this one, it has 3 large LEDs in there, not anything cheap. Nice and bright as well. I tried this yesterday at dark, and they definitely light up the whole area very, very well. And those are both controlled very easily with this switch right here. Coming up to the bars, you have these very unique grips. I wouldn't be surprised if they made these in-house as well, because I have not seen this kind of grip on any other e-bike or scooter before. But overall, definitely a nice and grippy feel to it. This is a thumb throttle scooter. Then right here you have your power and your headlight switch. Taking a look at the screen, this one is different from anything else I've seen as well. Usually most scooters have that smaller screen with just the speed like that. Then it has that single button down here, but this one has a different look to it. Overall, nice and clean look. You have a nice battery graph here. Looks good, but honestly, I think I would have preferred a percentage instead. That's just easier to read, and you don't have to guess or count what you're dealing with. And then it shows you your speed, your headlight status, whether drive or sport mode. And then right here is your odometer. This scooter is app connected as well, and what I absolutely love about this app is there's no sign up required. You just download the app, click on your scooter, and you're ready to go. Too many apps these days want you to make an account. I don't need an account for my scooter app. The only reason I'm making an account is so they can get my email and send me junk mail, but this company does not do that. You just download it and you're good to go. So taking a look at the app, this is a nice and clean looking app as well. Right up here you got your speed, which shows your speed in real time as you ride around. Right down here shows your connection status, your lock and unlock, which I'll go over shortly, your headlights, and then settings. Right here you got a bunch of details about your scooter. So even though you don't have much showing here, you have all the information here. So you got your battery status, your speed, voltage, current, power, current temperature, distance, total mileage, and app version. All right, so looking at this lock and unlock, this is very cool as well. So if you lock this, it locks the scooter. You cannot turn it on or off. And what it does is it adds some resistance to the wheels. So I try to push this right now. It's not letting me. It kind of locks right about there. And it's very strong. Like, you're going to really, really struggle trying to take this away. And as you can see right now, as I move it around, it starts beeping a lot. And even if you turn off your Bluetooth on your phone and close the app, it's still going to be stuck in this lock mode. You can't do anything with it. The only way you can unlock it is reconnect with the app, and then you'll be able to unlock the scooter. So definitely a nice little security feature there. Too many scooters these days have no security, so you just turn it off and that's it. I mean, you're supposed to lock it up, but assuming someone cuts your lock, all you have to do is turn it on, and they can just easily ride away. With this one, they're going to struggle a lot more, and it's going to start beeping. It's not too loud, but nice to have that little added security there. Coming back to the app, you have a few more settings you can do as well. So you got the riding mode, which is just eco and sport. You can turn on and off your lights. You can change miles per hour or kilometers per hour. You got how you start it, so you can kickstart it or zero start. Honestly, if you have a scooter, you should always leave it on kickstart, because zero start, you just flick that throttle and it's automatically going to go, and that's a huge safety hazard. It doesn't take much to kickstart it. You just get on it and barely move a tiny bit and it starts going. So definitely I would recommend leave it there. A simple app, but definitely a well laid out app. And again, once again, love that no sign up is required. Like any other scooter, this scooter does fold as well. You have this little locking mechanism here that holds the latch in place. I already unlocked it because it's very, very tight and it's very hard to unlock this with one hand. Once you unlock that latch, you just pull this down, then the handlebars fold down. Right down here, you have this lever here, which is spring loaded. Always nice to see that. Some just have a lever that's not spring loaded, but that spring is definitely going to help hold it in place. And then once you fold it, that's going to lock in like that. And then you can just easily carry away the scooter. This scooter is only 45 pounds, so it's not that bad to carry. And as you can see, very easy to unfold as well. Last but not least, this scooter is IPX6 waterproof. So if you ride through snow or rain, it's not going to be a problem. If you get it dirty, you can go ahead and hose it off. That's not going to cause any issues as well. If you're someone concerned about batteries and scooters setting on fire, you don't have to worry about that either, as this scooter is UL listed. So it went through a bunch of certifications to make sure both the battery and scooter are safe. If you do have problems with the scooter, this scooter does include a 24-month warranty as well. All right, so first impressions, just from barely riding this for about a minute now, this feels like a very well-made scooter. One of the things I really like is how the motor sounds. I've ridden a lot of electric scooters at this point, and a lot of them have like a high-pitched kind of whine, and it just sounds kind of cheap, especially when you go to higher speeds. But this one stays very, very quiet throughout the whole speed band, and even when you can hear it, let me go a little slower. Hopefully the noise of the motor picks up on the camera. But it's a very, very low sound. It kind of reminds me of a Tesla. It's like a low pitch motor sound, but it's a very pleasant sound to hear. Kind of gives me an impression of like a luxury electric scooter, because like I said, a lot of them sound cheap and high pitched, but this just sounds completely different from any other scooter I've ridden so far. And this is by far the quietest motor I've used as well. Oh man, and this scooter has some serious torque as well. This is I believe it was a 500 watt motor with a 1300 watt peak. But man, this is one beefy 500 watt motor. I own a few 500 watt scooters, and there is no comparison compared to those 500 watt scooters to this one. So you might see this one costs a little more than most 500 watt scooters in the market. Not too much, but a little more. But you're definitely getting what you pay for on this one. I had to stop for a second. I just seen my son coming out of school. But carrying on, yeah, this feels like a very good scooter. All in all, before we move on, I want to say there's a lot of things about this scooter that are very unique to this scooter. They may not seem like important things or very big on the surface, but collectively they do make a much better riding experience. Like these hand grips here, like I said earlier, I have not seen these in any other scooter before, but they're very grippy. They have a bunch of little bumps on them, and there's no chance your hands are going to slip on these. And besides that, they also provide a little more cushion for more ergonomic grip. So yeah, it's a lot of well thought out little touches. Let me go ahead and try out these brakes. Yep, brakes nice and smooth. Yeah, so there's no suspension on this scooter, but it's definitely not that bad of a ride. These pneumatic tires definitely soak up a lot of the impact. If you have the kind of, I forgot what they're called, but they're the tires that don't have air in them, they're just solid rubber. Those would definitely give a more firm ride, but these pneumatic tires definitely balance it out. You'll definitely get a little more comfort with a scooter with a suspension, but with that being said, this is not as bad as most scooters that don't have suspensions. So it's a good middle ground. If you get this scooter, I definitely recommend getting either the middle model or this model, which is the GT model. When you go up in models, it's just the battery size that changes, but there's not that much weight difference. A little bit of difference in cost, but honestly, if you can swing it, you're much better off going with the bigger battery. This is gonna give you longer range, and throughout the years, your battery is gonna slowly degrade. So in the end, that's also gonna make your range and scooter performance overall last longer as well. With that being said, if you are someone that's just planning to go to the store, a quick less than 5 mile ride and back, you'll definitely be fine with the lower model, but for most part, I think most people are gonna be better with either the middle or the highest one. Oh, this thing flies. This thing has torque. I haven't tested the top speed yet, but I love the torque on this thing. Like I said earlier, not all motors are built the same, and this is definitely, hands down, the best 500 watt motor on the scooter that I've tried so far. This compares to a lot of other scooters that claim 800 watts or more. If you don't need lots of top end speed, and if there was a trade-off between top speed and torque, I would highly recommend going with the scooter that has more torque. Because at the end of the day, if you're going 24 miles per hour and it takes a long time to get there, it's not that fun of an experience. But if your scooter only goes 22 miles per hour, but it gets there extremely fast, it's gonna feel like a much quicker scooter, and it's just gonna be much more fun to ride. It's just that initial rush of speed is just so much more enjoyable. Right now I do have it on sport mode, which gives it that extra push. So if you wanted a calmer ride, you could always just dial it down to the regular drive mode, which is gonna make it accelerate a little slower. I haven't even finished testing this, and hands down, I already know this is becoming my new lighter scooter. Every now and then I switch out scooters. I have a more higher end scooter, which has more power, but it's a complete pain in the butt to carry around. They're like 70, 80 pounds, but they go much quicker. And then I always keep one scooter that's lighter, that can go maybe 20 to 25 miles per hour, but it's easier to carry and more portable. Yeah, going over harder bumps like I just had back there, you're definitely gonna feel it. But this scooter's not really made for that, and you probably shouldn't be riding on very rough terrain like that anyways. And if you wanted to ride like that kind of rough terrain, you definitely should be looking at a more off-road scooter that has a much larger suspension. But then that's something that's always a trade-off. With more things on the scooter comes more weight, and that's why I have two scooters, one for the heavier duty stuff and one for chill, relaxed cruising, and that's what I'm gonna be using this one for. But this is by no means a slouch. This thing has a lot of get up and go. If you're a new scooter rider, I would not recommend leaving it in sport mode, because this torque can definitely catch you off guard and send you in a ditch or crashing very easily. All right, switch it down to drive mode. And this is a lot more chill. Honestly, drive mode on this scooter feels like how every other scooter feels on sport mode when it comes to a 500 watt scooter. So yeah, these brakes are very smooth as well. Honestly, you can probably just use the back electric regen brake most of the time and you'll be fine. And that's gonna give you a little more range as well, because that produces a little more energy into the scooter. All right, top speed, top speed, top speed. Let's see what we can get. All right, I felt it let off around 24 miles per hour. I believe that is what the top speed of the scooter is. I did unlock this scooter out of the box. I think it was about 16 miles per hour. It's at default, but there's a little process to unlock it. And to do that, you click the power button 5 times, and that brings you to a screen that says 13. And then you flick the throttle, and then it'll say 1 and 2. Number 1 is for the default speed, and then 2 is to unlock it. So just flick that throttle until it says 2, hold down power again, and that'll send you back to the main menu. And then you have it unlocked to that 24 miles per hour. If you're someone who hasn't ridden a scooter and you think you need more than 24 miles per hour, I say definitely try to ride a scooter and feel that out for yourself, because personally 24 miles per hour on a scooter is a lot of speed. Like when you're going 24 on a scooter, that feels a lot faster than going 24 on a bike or in a car. I think going beyond 24, that's when you kind of have to be a little more of an experienced rider, because once you pass that 20 to 22 mark, that's when it requires a little more being alert, a little more careful riding, quick reactions. So if you're a new rider, I would recommend staying probably between, I don't know, about 15 and 18. That's more of a comfortable range that anybody can ride and not feel the panic and high alert sensation of a higher speed. One cool feature this scooter has is digital optimization built in. So if you're going on a lighter ride where it doesn't need much power, it's gonna put out less power to maintain and stretch out your battery more. But if you're going up a hill and it's struggling a little bit, it's gonna pump out more power to get you up that hill and give you a smoother riding experience. So this is a nice little feature to have, so it can really make the best and stretch out your battery. This scooter is rated for 37 miles of range. I'm thinking if you're going about 12 to 15 miles the entire time, you're probably gonna get close to that. If you're going top speed the entire time, then you're definitely gonna get less range, but that's the same with any scooter. I know there's some really lightweight scooters that don't weigh much, but with that you usually get like a 7 amp hour battery or something like that, and for me that's just not very fun because that's gonna die out very quickly. You go anywhere, you're gonna have range anxiety. I usually like to stick somewhere around 11 to 15 amp hours on a scooter. So like I said, this is definitely one of the better and definitely the best 500 watt scooter I've rode so far. So if you're looking for a very well-made scooter and something that can go a decent speed, 24, again, I think that's more than enough for most people. I would 100% recommend this scooter here. And like I said earlier, you have a few different battery options to choose from, and they all have a few $100 differences between them. So very flexible in pricing as well. You can kind of get the model that works best for you, but regardless of which model you go with, you still get the same features and build quality. So yeah, no complaints at all about the scooter. Everything is very well made. I usually have some little thing here and there to knock on a scooter, whether it be the lights or the brakes or something, but I absolutely have no complaints on this one. This is by far the most perfect and ideal 500 watt scooter I've rode so far. I mean, that's gonna vary person to person, but based on my needs, I absolutely love this scooter. So if you're looking for a scooter in this price range, this speed, these kind of specs, don't even consider anything else, just hands down, go with this one. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.